Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Well, wonderful to see everybody here today, and thank you all very much for coming. Thank you all very much. We're now, as you know, less than 3 weeks away from the most critical election of modern memory, when the stakes for this country have seldom been higher and the choice has never been starker. Because in the last few days, we've heard from every other party, haven't we? They've launched their manifestos, and we have heard how they would keep us stuck in the same rut, how they would consign this country to yet more delay and yet more frustration and parliamentary paralysis, and how they would refuse yet again to honour the will of the people, how they would refuse, every other party, to get Brexit done. The Lib Dems want to revoke Brexit. The Scots Nationalists want to cancel Brexit and have another referendum on Scotland as well. As for Labour, they'll plainly give in to Nicola Sturgeon and waste the whole of next year in 2 more referendums, one on Scotland and one on the EU. Except that Jeremy Corbyn won't tell us whether he would even be willing to advise people to vote in favour of his own deal. He used to be indecisive. Now he's not so sure. Do we want that kind of leadership, my friends? Do we want more delay? Do we want more dither and drift and deadlock and division? Do we want 2020 to be another year of defeatism and despair? No, we don't. We want to move forward because this country has an incredible future. And here it is, I believe, as at least the partial blueprint for that future. Here is the route map to take us forward. Because unlike any other party standing at this election, we're going to get Brexit done. With a deal that is pre-cooked, ready to go, oven ready, as I keep saying, approved not just by our friends in the EU, but by every single one of the 635 Conservative candidates standing at this election. A deal that will allow us to deliver absolutely all the opportunities of Brexit, from free ports to free trade to cutting VAT on sanitary products, improving the welfare of animals. Get Brexit done, and we can restore confidence and certainty to business and to families. Get Brexit done, and we'll see a pent-up tidal wave of investment into this country. Get Brexit done, and we can focus our hearts and our minds on the priorities of the British people. Because it is this one nation Tory party that is already embarked on the biggest cash boost for the NHS for a generation. And today, in this manifesto, we pledge 50,000 more nurses and their bursaries and 50 million more GP surgery appointments. And today, we make this guarantee to the British people that we will tackle crime with 20,000 more police officers and tougher sentencing, and that we will sort out our immigration system with a points-based Australian-style system, that we will invest millions more every week in science, in schools, in apprenticeships and in infrastructure, and control our debt at the same time. And that we can reach, and we will reach, net zero by 2050 with clean energy solutions. And we can do all these things. We can do all these things. Here's the kicker. Here's the ready book. We can do all these things without raising our income tax, VAT, or national insurance contributions. That's our guarantee. And in this manifesto, there is a vision for the future. There is a vision for the future of this country in which we unite our amazing country and level up across the country with infrastructure, education and technology. And it's appropriate, though, of course, that we're here in Telford, because it was here or hereabouts more than 200 years ago that the Phlegmafontein fires of Colebrook Dale created the first industrial revolution. And this whole region was a giant crucible in which colossal quantities of hydrocarbons were burnt to smelt iron and steel and to turn water into steam and power. And it's an incredible thing that here, once again, in the West Midlands, a new industrial revolution is taking place. Not by burning coal, not by emitting CO2, but thanks to British ingenuity, we can make electrons swoosh so efficiently from anode to the cathode, I think, or possibly vice versa, but that's the right idea, that after decades of trying to make electric cars, we can now do it, and we can make electric buses, and it won't be long before we will be making electric or part electric planes. And we in this One Nation Conservative government don't want to wait for this future, because we believe that after 3.5 years of being held back by a broken parliament, it is time to unleash the potential of the whole country and to forge a new Britain. And yes, I'm proud that we have in our national capital the greatest city on earth, but I know, and every survey confirms, that genius, talent, ability, flair are all distributed evenly throughout the United Kingdom. Opportunity is not distributed evenly. And I believe passionately that with education, infrastructure and technology, we can tackle that unfairness, we can unleash the potential of this whole country, and we can make those investments precisely because we One Nation Conservatives also support a dynamic market economy. And that's why we're cutting taxes for small businesses, and why when people get up at the crack of dawn to prepare their family business, and when people take out a mortgage to fund a new venture, or when they risk everything on a new product or trying to find a new market, we don't sneer at them, we cheer for them. And that is the choice. That is the choice at this election. That is the choice between out-and-out retrograde and destructive socialism and sensible one-nation conservatism. You can come with us and have a government that backs our armed forces as a power for good around the world, or you can have Jeremy Corbyn and the Labour Party who say they want to scrap them. We can support our police, putting more of them on the street, support them in fighting knife crime. They say stop and search is inappropriate and oppressive. We want higher wages, and we're raising the living wage by the biggest ever increase. Corbynomics, McDonaldonomics, means higher taxes for everybody in this country, £2,400 extra. We stand up for the people of this country when other nations threaten us with harm. And it was quite incredible that when Russia ordered the Salisbury poisonings, Corbyn actually seemed to take the side of Moscow. Above all, and here's the most important difference we face in the next few days, we will get Brexit done. And we will end the acrimony and the chaos, whereas they want to rip up our deal and negotiate a new one. But we don't yet know of a single Labour MP, or indeed any other MP, who would support this deal. In fact, we don't even know if anybody believes in Mr Corbyn's New Deal, apart from Mr Corbyn. And not even he believes in it. I mean, can you imagine the negotiations that would take place if the Corbyn-Sturgeon coalition were to come in? What on earth are they supposed to think in Brussels? Bonjour, Monsieur Corbyn. Comment allez-vous? Tell us about this deal that you want. What do you mean? You don't really want it? What do you mean you don't really believe in it? You're not going to advocate it? Then who does believe in it? Not Monsieur MacDonald? Not Monsieur Stammer? Not Madam Abbott? Then who does believe in it? Who? It will be... It's farcical. It would be farcical, it would be comical if the consequences of that approach were not so disastrous for this country and for our prospects next year. Let's give that madness a miss. I want you to imagine what the country could be like in just 10 years' time if we can get a working majority on the 12th of December. I want you to look forward to a Britain where the streets are safer, where the air is cleaner, where we've built 40 new hospitals as a direct result of the decisions taken in the last 3 months. A Britain where 10-year-olds are not only doing better at reading and writing and maths, but better across the whole country. And where in 10 years' time scientists are starting to reap the huge rewards from our plans to double spending on research, from AI, artificial intelligence, to the gigafactory for batteries that we will inaugurate, to new spaceports in Cornwall and Scotland that will send British-made satellites into the heavens and drive one of our most exciting industries. A Britain where we are uniting and levelling up, where great new infrastructure is helping to rebalance the economy, delivering not just Northern Powerhouse Rail and a metro-style system for the whole of the West Midlands, a Britain where left-behind towns have recovered their vibrancy and their commercial life and optimism, with shops and businesses made possible by better transport and fantastic broadband. And then, in turn, where better infrastructure is allowing better transport is allowing us to build tens of thousands of superb new homes, hundreds of thousands, on brownfield sites, giving young people the prospect of home ownership that they currently don't have, and which every survey shows is what people in this country want. A Britain where the landscape is made more beautiful by the planting of millions of trees that will also help us to deal with climate change. And in 10 years' time, I confidently prophesy that people will be passionately proud of their Scottish identity and their Welsh and Northern Irish, and yes, their English identity. And that will be a great thing. But we will also all be citizens of a proud, strong and whole United Kingdom. More united. More united than ever. Flying that red, white and blue union flag that represents the best of our values, from democracy and the rule of law, from free trade to free speech to the freedom to love whomsoever you choose, from championing 12 years of quality education for every girl in the world, to protecting the planet's wildlife from the tragedy of habitat loss and extinction. And a Britain that is able to lead the world, as we do, in tackling climate change and reducing our CO2, as I say, to net zero by 2050, not because we hate capitalism and want to destroy it, and want pointlessly to make an enemy of enterprise, but because the private sector makes the brilliant technical breakthroughs that enable us to cut CO2 and pay for great public services and create great high-skilled jobs. And that is the vision that we are offering, to make this country the greatest place to live, to breathe, to be, to raise kids, to start a business, the greatest place on earth. And I propose, isn't that our vision? I propose that we get on with it now. I don't want to waste 2020 in 2 more referendums. I want it to be an exciting and productive year, a year of prosperity and growth. Do you want to wake up on Friday the 13th of December and find a nightmare on Downing Street? A Corbyn-Sturgeon coalition of chaos? I say, let's go carbon neutral by 2050 and Corbyn neutral by Christmas. Let's go. Let's go. Thank you, Boris. Let's go for sensible, moderate, but tax-cutting, one-nation Conservative government and take this country forwards. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Thank you.